Welcome back to Shine the Fine Art. Today we are going to discuss about the different type of surfaces that we can use for painting. And before we start, let me make a disclaimer that this pertains only to acrylic and oil painting. For any other medium, it probably wouldn't be relevant, like say for watercolor or anything else that you might want to try on color pencils. Probably this video or the surfaces explanation will not be relevant. However, I'll try my best to go over all the different types, sizes, and every relevant information that you might want to use for canvas surfaces. And this is for beginners. Although it is for beginners, it would take you a long way because I'm trying to cover a lot of information in this video, and it will be relevant even when you're an advanced painter. Also, I would like to mention that all the information that I'm sharing is something that I have learned from my experiments, my works, my techniques, and you will also have to experiment with your works and your techniques to find out what works best for you. Let's go ahead and find out some more about different types of canvases. Different type of surfaces that can be used for painting with acrylic and oil can be divided into 4 different categories. There is stretched canvas, there is canvas panels, then there is canvas paper, and then there is wood panels. And wood panels again can be cradled or just panels. Let's first start talking about canvases as they are the most popular surfaces used for painting with acrylic and oil paint. Now they are of 2 kinds: stretched canvases and canvas panels. I will first discuss what I mean by stretched canvas panels. This is what a stretched canvas panel is. It has got wooden stretcher bars, and the canvas, which is either cotton or linen, is taped or rather stapled on the back side, and it has got edges. These edges can be thick and thin depending on the type of canvas, and this is the most commonly used surface. And the best part of this surface is that you can hold on the sides while your paint is still wet, and that way we will not get fingerprints damage on your canvas while your paint is wet. The next one that I typically use a lot is canvas panels. These are either boards, cardboard, good quality cardboard, or wooden panels that are covered with either linen or cotton. And the difference between these and the stretched canvases is that the stretched canvases has the edges and these don't have the edges. And since it doesn't have the edges, the only problem with it is if your paint is still wet, which in case of oil painting is going to be for a very long time, you have to be very careful while moving these panels. Otherwise you will get fingerprints all over your painting. And I like these panels a lot because they can be stacked one on top of the other, and they don't require a lot of storage space, which is always a problem for me. But these are always personal preferences. And as for the surface for painting, stretched canvas and canvas panels are pretty much the same, because they will use either cotton or linen, both of them, and so that ways I like either of them. But for storage purposes, I like these panels better. Now the cloth that the canvas panel or the stretched canvas is covered of may either be of cotton or of linen. Cotton is typically cheaper than linen. However, linen, although almost always much more pricier, is worth the price because of the tight knit of the fiber of linen. It has a much smoother surface, especially if you are a realistic painter or you like to do a lot of fine details like I do. You would like linen a lot better than cotton duck canvases. But then again, it depends on your techniques, your style, and your methods, and so you will need to experiment by yourself to find out what works best for you. In case of canvas panels, I would like to mention something that is very important. um, a lot of canvas panels are pretty cheap. They're great to start with, they're great for practice. However, like this one, they are just inside there is just a cardboard, so in the long run they might warp, they might have damage, they might rot. So if you are very concerned about the archivalness of your painting, how long it will last, how long it will stay just the same, then you want to choose panels that have wooden boards inside. Masonite boards are typically the ones that are used inside the canvas panels, the good ones, the ones that are called archival. If you're looking for good archival panels that are come at a reasonable price, my personal favorite is Centurion. Although Fredericks for stretch canvases or for canvas panels, Fredericks is a very known brand, and this by no means is an advertisement for either Fredericks or Centurion. I'm just talking about the ones I have used and liked. I have used a variety of surfaces, even the bargain store ones. The end results as far as the painting is concerned may be the same, but in the long run the archivalness will vary. And while we are on the topic of stretch canvas and canvas panels, I'll like to mention that these come in a variety of sizes. Like this is a 16 by 20, this is an 11 by 14. They come in really small sizes as well. When you are a beginner, you're just starting off, I would suggest start small. Start 4 by 6, 5 by 7, 7 by 9, at the most 8 by 10. I used to do a lot of 8 by 10s when I started, because it will be faster for you to cover a smaller surface, and as opposed to covering the whole canvas surface, you will be covering like a smaller area. So you will get to learn more that ways, and have better results and have a feeling of accomplishment when each of the painting is done. So when you are starting off, start off with smaller sizes. That's just my recommendation, though. There is no hard and fast rule that you have to do it this way. Especially, if you're an abstract painter, you probably need a lot of surface. Just a personal preference. Now let's discuss wood panels. A lot of artists love these wood panels. They have a very smooth surface, which I like. But the only problem I find with these surfaces is that they are a little more absorbent than I like them to be. I like them, but I like canvas cloth covered, like canvas or cotton or linen covered canvases better. And all of these, whether the panel or the wood panels or the stretch canvases, they come either unprimed or primed. By unprimed or primed, we mean that there is a coating or not on the top of it. If it does not have a coating, then it is unprimed, and if it has a coating, then it is primed. The coating is merely a barrier in between the surface, whether it is wood or the cotton or the linen, and the paints. And what it does is it helps in not rotting the cloth or the wood surface in the long run, because paints, especially oil paints, have a tendency of eating up the surface. So these coatings or the primers rather are generally formulated in such a way that it creates that barrier. There are two kinds of primer. One is an acrylic based primer, which is gesso, and the other is oil-based primer. I like either one again, but one important thing to understand is that if you're using acrylic-based gesso as a primer, then you can paint acrylic as well as oil on top of it. However, if you're using oil-based primed surfaces, then you can only paint with oil paints on top of it. And a lot of times, to reduce the amount of time I spend on a painting, I like to start off with an acrylic, few initial layers I like to do them in acrylic, and in that case I prefer to go with gesso. And then again, it's a personal preference what you finally want to do. Lastly, I want to discuss canvas pads. This is a Frederick's brand canvas pads. I like this a lot. This is great if you're a beginner and you don't want to spend a lot of money and you have very less storage space. What it has is like your regular drawing pads. It has got paper. These are just papers, and they are again primed with the primer, so this surface will take oil or acrylic paints very well. How you use it is you take out this paper off this canvas pad and then you tape it up to a board like this. I have tape on all 4 sides, and then you go on and paint. As simple as that. This is very good if you're a beginner and you don't have space and you don't want to spend a lot of money. It's great for studies. And by any chance, even though you are a beginner and you are just doing a study, you end up having a great piece. They can be framed, they can be saved, they can be laminated on a board. Just take it to a experienced framer and they'll tell you what to do. So if you have done a great painting on just a canvas pad paper, don't worry, it is not a waste. You can still save it for a long run. And with that, I think I have kind of given you a very good idea about different kinds of surfaces that you can use for your oil and acrylic painting. I hope you find this video useful. As usual, I'll put in the links to my blog, website, and Facebook page on the bottom in the video description area, and so that you can keep track of what I am painting, what I'm coming up with, what new videos are coming up. I hope you find this useful. Thank you for watching.